So you want to be cool, and you want to learn how to do the roller coaster skip. Roller coaster skip is, in my opinion, probably the second hardest trick in the run. That being said, it is also the one that saves the most time. Uh, it allows us to not only skip an autoscroller, but it also allows us to get the spear, a weapon that's really broken, for clipping and movement later on for free. Coaster has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like probably about 7 moving parts with it that make it kind of complicated. The first one's going to be clipping out of bounds, getting on top of the coaster rails, getting the first coaster trigger, yeah. Then getting the second coaster trigger, getting out of bounds, like getting in bounds and then out of bounds again, getting another trigger, and yeah, then getting to spear. So the first part of this, just clipping out of bounds, is really the easiest. What you're gonna do is you're gonna make your way all the way over to right here. If you have DLC, there'll be an elevator right here. For the 80% run, you don't want to have DLC installed. Not only does it make it makes the clip harder, is basically what I'll say. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be clipping out of bounds, basically using the geometry of this roof. So just so you do kind of your basic high jump combo. You plunge into the corner, and then I believe you can get through. Yeah, like it will clip you through if you just do the plunge, but what I do is I basically see that I'm getting stuck and I just tap SD, which immediately pushes you through. Just like that. So from here on, we're out of bounds. The issue, I guess I should say, the issue with this trick as well is if you're playing with DLC installed and you get into this area, you kind of get jank stuck all over the place. And there's like there's basically like 2 sets of invisible walls, and the one for the DLC elevator, you can't get through just by doing this like I just did. All right. So the second part of this trick is going to be getting onto the coaster rails. There's a little bit of difficult out of bounds movement, and then it's just a matter of knowing where to go. So you'll want to move basically just like diagonally. You can kind of follow your mini map, just pointing towards like the corner of the save point buildings or whatever you want to say. So for this, after you get to this point, you need to be careful because if you go, you can kind of see where inbounds is, and like you have this little corner that's safe and out of bounds. If you move, too far forward or too far to the side, then you're gonna clip back inbounds. That being said, where we want to move. All right, I'm gonna try to zoom in on my camera, show this off. There we go. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be basically moving where like, oh my god, we're basically going to be going over here. So there's this first building you can see in front of us that has a little bit of floor on this direction, but what we're aiming for is a secondary building past this building, and that's basically where we're going to be long jumping to. So the combo for this is going to be the combo, the timing for this is a little bit tight, but with enough practice, you can do it. I believe in you. So there's two ways to do this. There's what I will call the weenie way, which is what I like to do, and then there's the speedy boy way. So the weenie way is we're going to be going off this corner with a dash swing, and then it's going to be jump, pod spin, light attack, dash, pod spin. And that should give us a distance. So, flip it out of bounds. And, well, where I fell is exactly where you want to go. That building, that floor is where, yeah, there's a floor or collision again. So, inside this building, you're good. Before this building, there is, like, one spot you can go to if you just want to try to, like, learn this. I wouldn't recommend ever doing it in a run, but the corner of this building has collision. Not all of this floor is real. Like, you can kind of see this edge is where I'm dropping off, but some of it does have. So yeah, that's the weenie version of getting over that I typically do in runs, is doing it with a dash swing. You can do it without, and you'll just dash off. But personally, I feel like you might not always get enough height. That being said, if you are doing this trick and you feel like you don't have enough height, so I'll show the fast version, I guess. And you just barely make it. As you see, I just barely made it. Yes. So the last thing is, if you're practicing this, you're doing this, and you are worried that you won't have enough height, you can throw heavies in the mix as well. Yeah, so you can do this, and it does make it, I'll say, easier, but it's really not necessary. So I do it for learning the trick, but not actually, like, doing the trick. All right, so we landed where we want. We're at the core of this yellow building, and we're out of bounds. What we're going to do, we're just going to run forward through this building up until this corner. This corner has collision, so we can't walk forward anymore, but now this ground that we see actually does have collision. So we go from dashing through the buildings to dashing besides the buildings for a second. And there's this toppled over building that has collision and leads to, oh my god, a roller coaster rail. So you just need to come up here, do like a little bit of aerial movement, and then you basically want to aim to like here, because there is a little invisible wall, so we can't just take like a great beeline there. Instead, we have to go to the side. Yeah, so I was just touching a little bit of the wall right there. But just kind of move, I don't know. Just move and get on top of the rails. And congratulations, you've gotten to the top of the roller coaster. All right, so next what we're gonna do is there's a trigger that we need to get. This is like the Let's Play trigger is what it's called. There's a bunch, the trigger is pretty big, but I like to do my movement in a consistent way. So I'm gonna get up on top again, do a dash swing, and then do a dash swing off, kind of into the corner of this building, and that will give me the trigger. So you don't even really necessarily need to go that far, but whatever my spacing allows me for, to just like, just to dash off and get it real quick, I'll do that. So dash off, get that trigger, hop back on the rails. Then we're gonna do, yo, what's up? we're gonna do basically the hardest part because yeah, we're basically gonna do the hardest part now. So we can move along here all we want to, right? But the roller coaster isn't coming. What we need to do is we need to trigger the roller coaster, and then we need to trick the roller coaster into believing that we're riding it. So I'm gonna explain this before, because this is what makes the trick difficult to learn, is that everything's on a timer as soon as you start it. So you kind of have to move fast. So once I trigger the coaster, I'm gonna come basically back to the second pillar. And I'm just gonna like be pushing forward. The coaster is gonna come from over here, from like this side of the rails, and it's gonna push us. And then basically once I see it push me to this pillar, I'm gonna jump and dash. What this is hopefully going to do, no, I do not speak Russian. What this is hopefully going to do is it's going to have us, oh, well, here it comes. And I did the mistake that you don't do. Nice. What you're gonna do is you're gonna like touch the tip of it, and you're gonna trick the coaster into thinking that you're riding it when you're not on it. So zoom over
Where
here.
does this corridor lead?
I'm gonna try to, yeah, I'm gonna trigger it, and then hopefully. All right. So we did what I said. We triggered the roller coaster by like basically dipping a toe out into the loading platform. That triggers it. We run back to the pillar, wait till it pushes us forward to the third pillar, jump dash, which makes the coaster think we're on it and has it continue going out the station. So from this point on the game, there's basically a timer going, because once again, the game thinks we're on the roller coaster even though we aren't. So that being said, there's one more trigger we need to get. So what we do is we pop back in bounds. We pop back in bounds for a second just on the station platform, and then we're going to get out of bounds again, and then just get back on top of the roller coaster and follow it to get the spear. And just like that.
What's this?
Analysis. It is a device that propels humans on rails at high speeds for the purposes of amusement. It was commonly referred to as a roller coaster.
Humans sure are strange creatures. Hey.
I guess I forgot to mention there's one more out of bounds you do right there. It's really not too difficult. Basically all you're doing is you're running at this wall like this, and you just want to try to plunge at a 45-degree angle. Then you should go out of bounds again. Yeah. Then we're going to,
Yes.
People who know me well
there's
usually
another like
call me
scene
Nine,
where there's collision.
So
we're gonna walk on that, or we're gonna move on
So
this
what do you
basically.
think?
Of?
I mean, if you want to call me Nines, it's totally okay.
I'm good.
Oh, all right.
Yep. Yep. So there's a lot again. You're gonna clip it out of bounds again at that like 45-degree angle. Follow the like edge of the area along, and then you're gonna come to this wall. So what you need to do, this wall with a floor, and what you're gonna need to do is you're going to go through the wall and go underneath the floor, because even though it looks like all of the floor has collision, it doesn't. So it's kind of the same thing where we need to get to a certain spot where there actually is collision. And then from there on, you can just jump straight across and get your spear. And there you go. Now we're at the bow war fight. Let's see. I'm gonna show this out of bounds stuff while the I'm gonna show this out of bounds stuff again while the timer's not moving, so I can, or the coaster's not moving and the timer's not going, so I kind of just show this off better. Yeah.
Where does this corridor lead?
All right. Yep. So this corner, you can just jump, dash, punch at a 45-degree angle, and you get through. What you saw when I was doing it the other time was I did a heavy. The game's really mean about auto lock on. So like, you can kind of see it's flirting with the idea of targeting one of these enemies over here. And if that happens when you go to do your plunge, auto lock on will make it so you're plunging towards that enemy instead. So a good way to just like stop that is I'll do a heavy while I'm moving my camera. And that just gives me more time to move my camera. If you play on a higher camera sensitivity, you don't need to do this, and that's fine. Yeah. Then, although it doesn't look like it, you want to be a little bit to the right when you're doing this movement. The game's weird, so right there. I don't know if you saw it, but once again, not all this floor is real. So clip through, kind of just follow along the edge. And then just follow the same edge all the way down. It's kind of the same thing here. If you move too far towards the park, equip and bounds, and if you move too far away from it, then there's no floor there. Then we can come here and this wall has collision, but this one, yeah, this wall has collision. But if we move a little bit to, like I was saying, the side, the floor doesn't exist. So we're getting past the wall and then getting to a spot that does have collision. Yep, so basically once you reach here, you know that you're good again. Because as you see, even though it looks like it's one piece of floor, if I walk forward, it just doesn't exist. Kind of cue for this. Yeah. Okay. I was just curious if there were clubs right there. Don't pay any attention to me. You're gonna see this wall. So the wall is like the last thing you really need to go underneath, if that makes any sense. So you have this first wall, and you have this second wall right there. And once you're past that second wall, you can basically pretend that you're back in, like that you're on the floor again. That being said, if you move forward, the gray does not exist now. So you'll just have to, you know, dash over to the spear. Yeah. Yeah, and then you have the spear. Let's see. Any last things to say? Trick is hard. Trick is very hard. It's very, yeah, trick is very hard. I'll say that. Basically, in my opinion, like if you do this trick or not is what's kind of determining if you go from a beginner runner to like an intermediate runner. Because a beginner runner should not be doing this trick, and like intermediate runner is like where you can start messing around with it. All right, so I'm gonna do this at
Where
full
does
speed.
this corridor lead?
What's this?
Analysis. It is a device that propels humans on rails at high speeds for the purposes of amusement. It was commonly referred to as a roller coaster.
Humans sure are strange creatures. Hey, 2B.
Yes?
People who know me well usually call me Nines, so...
Oh,
So what do you think?
of?
I mean, if you want to call me Nines, it's totally okay.
I'm good.
Oh, alright.
And there you go.
Alert.
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm Sugoi6016 on Discord, or feel free to ping me within my own Discord or the near speedrunning Discord. All right, thanks.